My name's Alcana.
My name's Shakina,
And we are the Mutz Twins. So here are our ingredients. So we're going to be making an omelet, and these are our eggs. We're going to be cracking them up and making the omelet base. Then the stuffings, well, the things that we're going to put inside is the cheese and the polony. We're also going to be putting some avocado inside, and to make some paste, we're going to also use some lemon. We have the oil to oil base our pot, and also we're going to mix the eggs with some milk to make our eggs more. Okay, guys, so now what we're going to do is we're going to crack our eggs inside this little ball, but we're going to do two. I will start putting on the stove. She meant switching on the stove. Oh yes, and when handling with these products, please ask an adult help, because this is going to be very dangerous, and everything what we're doing here is very hot. Except for the eggs and the other things here. Right now I'm going to put the oil inside the pan. Oh yes, we forgot to also mention we need salt to season our eggs. And don't put too much salt, else the eggs will taste very bad. Now it's nicely mixed. As you can see, the texture is nice and good. This is breakfast for us, so. Now, when the stove is nice and hot, we're going to add our eggs inside. But before that, we have to add some of our milk. Because now we want to mix it all in very carefully. You might need that in to help, or else you'll make a bit of a mess. But since we're 11 years old, like the last video, we are quite good at it. Now it's nicely mixed. As you can see, it looks nice and creamy. It's not too goopy like eggs, and this is gonna make it nice. Now, the pan is hot enough. We're gonna put it a bit low, around medium. And now we're gonna put the eggs. The oil might pop, so please ask an adult's help for this. After waiting for the other one to prepare, it depends on how much you are. I'm going to make another one. If you're two, you can make another one, or if you're more, you can just repeat this all over again. Oh, and by the way, if there are bubbles forming on your eggs, you have to pop it, or else your omelet won't turn out. Right now, we have to start preparing everything. We have to prepare the avocado. Please stop. We're going to put everything aside. And then we're going to get a chopping board so we can chop this very mushy apple. You draw a not so mushy apple because you really want it to become mushy, and you can mash it up nicely. Yeah, that's what you want. Alright, and as this omelet is cooking, you can put the polony on only half of the omelet, or else problems. Yeah, it won't flap, it won't close up properly. How we prepare our avocado is we cut it in half. If you feel the seed, you stop and you just turn around. you follow along the seed. Now, so this avocado is not as perfect as I thought it would be, which is totally fine. Now, you gotta get back to the omelet. And then you're going to flip the omelet as nicely as you can. But if it's not cooked, just let it cook a little bit more. We're going to start peeling off the skin of the avocado after you cut it off all the rotten spots. And yes, there are so many rotten spots here which we are going to pull off. This is a really messy job. You need your hands to do it. So don't forget to wash your hands before you start. Perfect. Now we're just going to take our knife and take out all the rotten spots on our apples. You can do it the way Shakina's doing it or the way I'm doing it. When cutting off the rotten spaces, try not to cut too much of the apple. When the apple is nicely cut, you can take all these spaces off, these cut spaces off. Make sure your chopping board is nice and clean, or else you'll be getting some rotten spots inside your guacamole. Now, we're going to start chopping up the apple in a very nice manner. But not all of it's going to go into our omelette. Some of it is going to be turned into guac. It doesn't matter how messy it turns out. And now, the other half is going to be made into guac. So you don't really have to cut it nicely. It can be cut however you like and however you want. Well, for the next omelet we're going to be doing, we don't need to use a lot of milk. You don't want to add way too much milk for this one, because it's going to be prepared a certain different way. Back with the guacamole. I'm chopping up the guacamole for the avocado so we can make some guacamole. We want to put these ones aside, because they're going to be used for inside the omelette and for decorating the omelette. I'm going to start dicing up this guacamole so it can be easier to mash. It doesn't matter how messy it looks, because it's going to be chopped anyways. That's the guacamole we have. Alright, so we have put our eggs in the pan, and now we're going to be putting our cheese and guacamole inside the pot. And for this time, we're going to put it in the middle of the egg. Now I'm going to put all the guacamole back inside. So we can start mashing it up. Like I said, it's a messy job, so it's okay to use your fingers for this. But make sure your fingers are washed or really old when eating it. Now we're going to start mashing it. And as she's mashing it, you can always come with your lemon and then you're going to cut it in half. Make sure it doesn't spray in your eyes. So, kitties, be careful. Gonna put one of the lemon aside. Put it on one side. Now, I'm gonna take it and squeeze a little bit of lemon. And it's okay if the seeds are there. And also for the seasoning, you could use either any type of salt or celery salt. My favorite is celery salt because it has some celery inside. It makes it tasty. Now we're going to take out the seeds because we do not like eating seeds. I'm going to mix up the celery salt with lemon with the avocado. It makes it easier to mash because the lemon is liquid and liquid things are easy too. Like bananas, they're mushy. That's why if you want to do with the raw one, it's going to take a lot of time because it's very hard to mush it up. These omelets really taste nice. But the one that we did not use a lot of milk is one of the different ones we're going to make because it's very different than an omelet. I wouldn't necessarily call it an omelet. Maybe a roll, an egg roll or something. An egg burrito. In an egg burrito. So now I'm just going to show you the first one with milk. You don't have to eat this one if you're lactose intolerant like I am. It's we call it the full omelet because you don't really close it completely where you cover all the toppings, and this is how it looks like. You could even put some avocados on top. And top it up with some celery salt or salt. But just not too much because you already put salt in the eggs. The next one with not way too much milk. If you're lactose intolerant, you don't even need to put milk at all. But this is how it's going to look like. It's more of like a burrito the way we folded it. That's how we had to put the toppings in the middle. The toppings do kind of expose the side just because it's a circle, not a what do you call it now? Semicircle. Yeah, no, it's not a semicircle. A square. It's because it's not a square. This is how it looks like. You can also put avocados on top. And top it up with some celery salt. Not too much because the egg has some salt inside. This is how our avocado paste looks like. It's quite a messy job, but it's really delicious. Taste test. Very sour. Very, very sour. That's what I like. You don't have to make it as sour as we did. It's a choice you can make. You know? And we like ours extra sour. Because it just gives us that energy. Now what we're going to do is we're going to top it at the side of the plate. About 2 to 3 scoops, depending on how much you have. We're going to be 2.5. you need to save some for the other plate. Going to do 1.5 on this side. Then the other half. 1.5 on the side. We still have an extra avocado, which is fine to put on top. You might be left with a mess, but that's okay because we're just cooking in the kitchen, and hopefully you liked our video. And thank you so much for having fun with us cooking a breakfast that's totally delicious. And remember, you have a choice if you want to put milk or you don't want to put milk. If you want to put lemon or you don't want to put lemon. If you want to put avocado or you don't have to put avocado. Alright guys, let's dig in. What a beautiful egg that is. We could even put our paste, our nice sour paste inside. This is some good breakfast. Oh, and by the way, you can put tomatoes just for a little bit extra. And if you're not a fan of them, I don't mind. You can even bake them if you want to. Everything that we put inside this omelet, it's your choice to put. But what it should mostly have is eggs. Okay, may you please put your shoulders down? Thank you. I should be able to eat without my shoulders up. Well guys, thanks so much for having fun with us. Make this delicious food. It was a bit of some chaos, you know, when we had to... Well, I mean, chaos is the mess. Yeah. So we had to cook it. And we hope you had fun with us. Like, you've learned something. Like, learned how to cook. Because we know how to cook a bunch of things. So, we can show you how to make a lot of things in this channel. Paste. Gotta finish this later.